Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome or welcome back to another fun-filled edition of Soaplore. I'm your host, Jed, still viewing and reviewing the soapiest, sudziest primetime storylines from 1985. We are back on the West Coast doing the absolute most. This is the moment I have been waiting for. So whether you're new to this or true to this, sit back and enjoy. Tell the kids it's time to play outside or out of sight. Tell babe no questions, suggestions, or concerns for the next 25 to 45 minutes. Everyone else in earshot, cool, quiet, kicked out. Period. Pick your poison. I ain't got time to play with you today because we are watching our stories. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Soaplore. Hello, gorgeous. Welcome or welcome back to another fun-filled edition of Soaplore. I am elated on this here day. I am so glad you have chose to spend the next hour or whatever with me. Some of y'all wrote in and said, Jet, you always say 25 minutes and then you talk for an hour. Baby, I'm grown now, okay? This is what I do. I say 10 minutes and it turns into 50. Do you remember? I don't know if you had the same experience as I did, but my mom... Mind you, my mom and her sister live less than a quarter of a mile away. But for whatever reason, we would drive over to my auntie's house, who I adore, and we would sit outside her house and talk like they hadn't seen each other in 3 weeks. We do this like every other day. And I remember just sulking in the back seat sometimes because I just wanted to go home as much as I love my auntie. Sometimes I just wanted to go home because my aunt ate real healthy. She didn't have the best snacks. But I'd crack open my Sweet Valley High book or whatever I was into at the time. If she was talking a little long, I'd go inside and be like, I'm going to watch whatever. She's like, Jet, set up wherever you want to. I love her so much. But yes, in my head, this is going to be 30 minutes every time. And then I get to talking, y'all. This is what this is. You must be new to this. I can't remember who sent this to me, but we've exchanged emails since then. It's been fun. I am living moments that I didn't get to. I was there, but I didn't get to live them the way other people did. It is a distinct memory of mine watching my aunt talk to her homegirls about whatever the soap operas were during the day. This is how I feel like I'm doing with you guys. Okay? I love you regardless. I see you, Rachel. Thank you, Rachel. She's being funny. I appreciate it, girl. You know how it is. And besides, we're knee deep into some real stuff now. Okay. We're back on the West Coast. We are watching Falcon, Crest today. This is season 5, episode 10, Inconceivable Affairs. The first thing I thought when I heard that title was from the movie Heartbreakers with Sigourney Weaver and the millennial icon. I don't think she's actually a millennial, but she's a millennial icon as far as film goes. Jennifer Love v. Hewitt. One of my favorite movies of all time. It is hilarious from start to finish. So part of the whole shtick, I'll just give you the rundown. Ray Liotta, God rest his beautiful soul, marries Sigourney Weaver. What he doesn't know is that she and her daughter run this little game on men all up and down whatever coast they're at. They marry you, they set you up to where you have an affair the night of the wedding. It is annulled. They get this big settlement. So she's trying to run game on Gene Hackman, who is a very old cigarette tycoon. And she sets up his housekeeper. She's looking through her purse saying that something is stolen. She goes, it is inconceivable-ish. So when I see this title, I'm reading it as Inconceivable-ish Affairs. Go ahead and pour yourself up something bubbly and bright as we jump into this salacious episode of Falcon the Crest. The thing I'm clocking about this is that Falcon Crest has really upped the ante. I knew that they were always in a little bit of competition with the other shows. And when I started this podcast, one of the first things that jumped out to me is that the Falcon Crest fans are not only strong, but they got a little bit of a chip on their shoulder because they feel like Falcon Crest didn't get the same acknowledgement as as Dallas or Knots Landing or Dynasty. I'm going to charge it to it coming in later into the game. For instance, this episode is from 1985, but I promise you they have upped the ante. Everybody is sexier. Everybody is glitzier. The storylines are hitting a little harder. And we're falling into a rhythm where we don't really have a hero anymore. We have anti-heroes and we have villains. And then we have sort of reluctant heroes, and heroes is a very, very loose term. So at the top of this episode, let me run it back just a little bit. So the last time we saw the crew from Falcon Crest, Angela was having a bridal shower / engagement tea party for all of her closest enemies in the valley. She had been patient when her little nephew pulled that stunt at the courthouse and demanded that somebody who was wealthy in the valley give up some of their land since they were paying off a dude on the council. She's like, okay, that's cute. Also, her daughter is running around with the Hulk, aka Captain Planet, having vehicular sex in front of God and everybody. So she's like, okay, I've been quiet, I've been cute. I got something for that ass though. Last we left, Angela had a big swinging microphone moment where she announced to the entire valley that Cousin Robin's baby was fathered by none other than her cousin's husband, Cole Vigiaberte. And then this was brand new news to his mom and daddy. They were none the wiser, as was anyone else in the valley, other than Father Christopher and Melissa. So at the top of this episode, we find Maggie and Chase entering their castle home on Falcon Crest. And Maggie is in liquid gold. I'm going to be honest with you guys. It took me probably 2 or 3 minutes to realize that wasn't Terry. I thought it was Terry sauntering into the house. I don't know what happened to Maggie's scrambled eggs brain, but she came in looking summertime fine. It is a liquid gold dress. So they arrive at home after being embarrassed by the artist formerly known as the Perm Rod Goddess. Big Perm may now have a kitty perm. Her ego is still a big perm. Conveniently, Cole comes over 14.7 seconds after Maggie and Chase enter their castle home. And he starts explaining why banging his wife's cousin was the only way to produce a baby that would be related to both of them. Mama, Daddy, Melissa can't have kids, right? She's got a cousin. Her cousin is her relative. If me and the cousin bang, then we have a baby that is also Melissa's relative and also my relative. It's a likely story, but it's also true. It kind of reminds me of the Dynasty thing where Blake's explaining how Rashid Ahmed died. Sometimes the truth is crazier than the lie. There's a saying that says, you lie when the truth sounds better, but sometimes the lie sounds better than the truth. Maggie and Chase are kind of exhausted, and they've had egg in their face enough times to know that what can we do? Cole, for you to be such a good kid, you sure are a problem. Think about it. Cole's been in and out of jail for doing pretty noble things. You should believe him pretty easily that he banged his cousin by marriage because his wife told him to, but also you're like, how do you keep falling into this foolishness? Anyway, on the next day, Angela is in court with a straight face suing the ish out of Richard and her grandson Lance because they had a business deal without her being involved. That's basically it. She's pissed off because Lance is squandering away his heritage and her heritage by funding this Appalachian or whatever this girl's name is, her rock career. It is really dumb. I understand her being pissed off, but the fact that she took it to litigation is a little bit embarrassing. So, court is quick and painless. Richard and Lance win because the judge and the entire world knows that you can't sue the crap out of someone just because they pissed you off. You had nothing to do with the Globe or the radio station. It was a fair deal. Just because you don't like it doesn't make it illegal. Stop wasting my time. The trial itself is quick and painless, but the banter that follows it is excruciating. Watching the Manimal and not Marla Maples flirt it's upsetting. It was so upsetting that I did develop a little bit of heartburn, Soap Fiends. I had to chug an Alka-Seltzer glass to get through this scene. I don't understand. Actually, I do. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you ever meet a man who is just really good looking, really gorgeous, and that's all he has going for him? It's devastating when you meet a gorgeous person and they don't have a personality. I do feel like women can get along with it a little bit better. Men, you have to at least be rich too. You can't just be pretty and not have a personality. But by God, I'm starting to sense the theme on these soap operas. Sometimes you're just good looking and it just doesn't go well. So when the Manimal tries to spit game to Marla Maples, who is this intelligent lawyer woman who has established boundaries for herself, it's embarrassing. Kind of took me out of the story, but you know what? Thank God Angela is pissed off. She cusses out the Manimal later on for that That lackluster performance in court. What am I paying you $30K a month for? She asked him. She's about tired of losing. She lost in court. She lost the land. She's losing her daughter. Manimal, what am I actually paying you to do? The Manimal in this scene is a sort of quiet, unbothered, patient petty that you can only dream of being. He patiently waits for her to calm the F down. After she continues to rant and rave about how he ain't ish and how she lost all this stuff and he better get his life together or she's going to ruin it, he gently drops yet another bomb. He says, you know what, Angela, speaking of losing, you know your longtime customer so-and-so? He said he ain't want your trash wine anymore. She's like, wait a minute, why? Why would he not want my wine? I've been selling it to him for 30 years. He goes, oh, it's because he's going to be buying from your nephew now. He said his perm was better or something. I don't know. She tells him to get the F out of her house, and she makes an emergency call to the Kellogg company. Now, it's not the Kellogg cereal company. I don't really know who these people are, but it's somebody Kellogg, and she is trying to run interference with Chase selling off his, as she called it, lighter fluid to her longtime customer. This is team too much. Operation I've Got Something for That Ass is in full effect. Things are crumbling all around Angela. She is storming through the house, about to go ape-ish, when she hears Peter with the same energy yelling on the phone saying, you know, you'll regret it, you'll regret it. She stops because she's being nosy. Actually, let me take that back. She's not being nosy. This is her house. If you hear a conversation in your house, it's your house. She is becoming better informed. She is educating herself. She is stealthily educating herself on Peter's current affairs. That's what she's doing. She comes around the corner. Peter, baby, what's going on? Why you yelling? Why you acting up? Oh, no reason, honey, but I do have a gift for you. He reaches into his breast pocket and pulls out her 2/3 portion of Falcon Crest. Praise the Lord. At least one bad girl can rest easy this night. Falcon Crest is completely back into her session. She's like, okay, I thought you said I had to marry you for this. He's like, no, my love, I know you love me. I don't know where this goes to show too. You get a man with enough money who is used to getting his way. He don't really care how he gets his way. He knows damn well she is mildly interested at best. But if he gets to marry the baddie of his dreams from when he was 16 years old, he's going to do that every time. At least he didn't go out and buy a Porsche or something ridiculous. Good on you, Pete. Meanwhile, on the other side of the valley, a somewhat catatonic bad girl Melly Mel sits with her husband and her priest, and she's making a life-changing decision. Just as Pastor Panty Droppers comes sauntering in to the church, Father Bobby announces, Father Christopher, guess what? Melissa and Cole are ready to make their marriage official in the Catholic Church. Pastor Panty Droppers is all kinds of excited. Oh my God, that's wonderful. He's relieved. She's going to take that advice. She's going to do what she needs to do. She's going to be a good Catholic wife, and I ain't got to worry about banging her out. I can let that go now. But what he doesn't know is that Father Bobby is very messy. He may not be on the sauce, but he did purchase a very fresh pair of messy, messy boots. And he decides he too is going to drop a bomb. He says, oh, Christopher, darling, I'll be out of commission. I'll be at a retreat, so I can't really do their ceremony. Do you think that you could step in and marry Melissa and Cole? You won't have a problem with that, will you? Father Bobby, what exactly are you doing? What exactly are you pulling? Father Bobby is messy as hell. He knew this was going to happen from jump. Maybe this is his way of saying, Christopher, you don't really need to be a priest. I've seen this happen more times than a little bit. You've been a bang this girl one way or another, so why don't you go and do it now? PPD, aka Pastor Panty Droppers, his face drops. Melissa's face drops. Both of them look like they're about to have a stroke, but it doesn't matter. On the other side of town, Apollonia in yellow. I forgot to mention the color of this episode is yellow. Falcon Crest is wasting none of their citrus inspiration. Every woman at least on this show is wearing yellow at least one time during every single episode we've seen. And I'm not mad at it. I think this is strategic. I think this is a way of setting them apart. I got a piece of fan mail. I'm recording this a little bit late, but shout out to you, Byron, letting me know that because Dynasty was so popular at this point, mind you, this is 1985, so Falcon Crest being the late runner in all of these soap operas, They're getting to watch what's working. They get to see what doesn't. Dynasty is blowing up. And so for that reason, he says that the other soap operas had to up their ante. Now, we're not seeing that on Knots Landing, and we're not seeing that on Dallas yet because we're still in 1982. But Falcon Crest being in 1985, it is very clear. It completely explains why Jordan, aka not Marla Maper's hair is so freaking big. Why Terry has a big pageant hair. Why that woman that Chase was kissing, I forget her name at the moment, the other vineyard lady, had the big pageant hair. Everybody is stepping up their game because they're trying to compete with Dynasty on a visual aspect. It's easy for me to say this watching this after the fact that I don't really feel like Falcon Crest. I don't really feel like any of the shows need to compete, but also I'm watching this 40 years later. Everybody has their own look. Everybody has their own distinct style and flavor, and they're doing really well. But I understand you got to do what's popular. They're not in a vacuum here. Okay, so where were we? Apollonia in yellow and her ex are lunching. Now, her ex Walker, we get to find out, he has a little bit of a sordid past. They were close. He believed in her dreams, but he was also like an alcoholic. Seems like he was a bit abusive. He has come back into the picture out of nowhere, probably because he heard her songs playing a little bit, and she's got such a distinct name. He's trying to get back in there, right? So he's feeding her all these dreams. So later they meet in the studio, and I'm not sure why the wardrobe department has her dressed like Halle Berry from the Flintstones, but I'm here for it. It's like Flintstones meets Leather Pants Pam, which, by the way, I need Leather Pants Pam back in this scene. New face or not, where is she? Don't bring her up and leave her out. It's Flintstones meets Leather Pants Pam with rockabilly bouffants and big chunky jewelry. After a rather lackluster studio session, Lance gets tired of his girl Apollonia spending all this time with Walker, so he confronts him. Only he doesn't know that Walker is Apollonia's ex. He thinks it's an old studio guy who maybe was sweet on her. It isn't until Apollonia lets the cat out of the bag that Lance really understands what's really going on. She explains that Walker used to be an abusive drunk, and he was kind of a horrible guy when he was that way. Lance and I are both confused as to why she would even entertain him, but this is a soap opera and you have to do that sort of thing. What she explains is that I knew him before he became a drunk weirdo and I knew him after. He's now showing up to me as the guy he was before he was a drunk weirdo, and I miss that person because that person cared about me. This feels a lot like Aunt Terry and Florida Man. We have a girl from a somewhat, she's not actually troubled. She just lived in the quote unquote hood. She didn't even live in the hood, y'all. She lived in a 3-story, 3-bedroom, 3-bath home. You are not struggling, my love. Just because you have break dancers up and down your street does not mean you live in the hood. Let's get back to Cole. Okay, so Cole has been outed as Melissa's cousin, Robin's baby daddy. But he's done the right thing. He's gone to the priest. He and Melissa have decided they're going to go ahead and get married and make this thing official, to, I assume, draw attention away from Cousin Robin's pregnancy. Cole has a nerve to show up to his fine daddy and mama's house to announce yet another wedding. Mind you, this is wedding number 3. The first one he walked out on. The second one went through out in the middle of nowhere. Maggie was high as a kite. And now they're introduced with yet another wedding. Chase and Maggie are eating sandwiches and a salad with a fork and knife on fine china. And it is at this moment that I realize I just need to step up my game. I would have put a sandwich on a paper plate. I certainly wouldn't have eaten the sandwich. A sandwich on like regular sliced bread, by the way. We're not talking about a hoagie or brioche bread. Regular, degular, Wonder Bread, basic sandwich and a salad. Eating it on fine china with a fork and knife. I'm like, I am playing with this. I've been adulting all wrong all this time. Matter of fact, I got my eye on a set of vintage plates and a gold tea set. I'll have to keep you guys updated, but that's what I got from this scene. And Chase and Maggie are like, okay, fine. You want to get married? Cool. We'll be there. Cole even asked his dad to be his best man. And Maggie, would you please be Melissa's best woman? Maggie's got scrambled egg, soft-boiled brains. So she's like, cool. Sure, I'll be in a wedding. I don't think I've ever done that. The other thing I got from this scene is that Chase is so fine. I am shameless. My husband knows how I feel about him. Sorry. Chase is so fine. He is wearing like a velour kind of puffy V. It's not a V-neck. He just, Chase don't believe in top buttons. So once it hits his clavicle, That's too many buttons. He's in black, and personally, it takes a cake for me. I made the decision this episode that as far as the 80s baddies go, ain't nobody finer than Chase Gioberti. He is the hottest of the hottest, followed by a two-way tie between Lance and his brother Christopher. And then I think JR. Then I got Florida Man, whose name escapes me, Dusty's big fine daddy, Riker, Adam from Dynasty, Bobby from Dallas, Dusty from Dallas. Then I'll throw it to Cole. This is where I begin to struggle, ladies and gentlemen, and this is where I need your help. As you know, our podcast is a connective one. If you want to leave me a text or an email, I'll let you know where to do that. If you're listening on your mobile device, check the show notes. There is a link. It says send us a text. Not only can you send us a text, you can also send us a voicemail. I want to hear your thoughts. Let me know if you think anybody is hotter. I'm going to repeat that for you. Chase in number 1. Lance and Christopher are tied for part 2 or second place. JR is third. Florida Man, aka Aunt Terry's ex, the coke fiend, I can't remember his name. He was number 4. Dusty, big fine daddy from Dallas. JR and he are attractive in a way because they are confident, they're holding their own, and they stand out. Is JR good looking? Yeah, he's good looking enough, but he's charming enough, he's shameless enough. You're going to be intrigued whether you want to or not. Dusty's big fine daddy's a good looking old man. I just like him. Riker, Cassandra's little brother, he turned out to be a nice guy. He works out. I want you to notice how many of the top are from Falcon Crest. Those are the hotties. You can also reach out to me at soaplorepodcast@gmail.com. That's SOAPLOREPODCAST@gmail.com. Falcon Crest has the hottest hotties. Probably because they had a little more time to think about and put them together. I don't know where to put Jeff or Steven. I feel like they're the exact same. Oh my God, I already said Adam. Adam is definitely in here. Adam has a weirdness about him that's hot. Yeah, but nobody is as hot as Chase Gioberti. Period, point blank. Anyway, Melissa and Cole managed to squeeze out their vows at the church with very little gas. We have baby Joseph sitting there minding his own business. We have a distraught, very pregnant Robin show up, a very medicated Maggie, and a fantastically unimpressed, buttoned-up Chase Gioberti. They all watch on as Father Christopher and Melly Mel struggle through these vows. Any fool can see that this ain't working. She'd rather be saying any of this to Father Christopher. Okay, moving on to one of our bit players, Jordan, aka Not Marla Maples. I think Jordan has daddy issues. I'm extremely creeped out as I watch this scene. I think that her dad is some sort of weirdo. So Jordan's chilling in her luxury apartment, minding her own business when her father stops by. She doesn't seem happy to see him. He seems not necessarily happy to see her, but it's necessary to see her. That's the best way to put it. I think that her father comes by to make amends, but she is a brilliant lawyer lady with big hair and big boundaries, so she quickly sends him on his way. She knows that he's about to run for governor or something, so he's making sure that no stone is left unturned. His visit prompts her to accept this whack-ass invitation from the manimal for a date. They have a decent enough time, and when they talk about their past, she kind of quickly skirts over that she has her father, because her father's a big deal. Her father is indeed running for governor, like I said, of California. He's a big-time lawyer. And the manimal is very, very impressed by that. She doesn't seem annoyed that the manimal is impressed by that, but she does not want to talk about it. It's very, very clear. As the date comes to an end, the manimal invites Jordan to some sort of jazz festival, after which he tries to lean in for a kiss and she freezes up. You can see her whole body go cold. It seems like she's reliving something that she doesn't want to go back into. And then it also seems like the date that they had is just some sort of distraction. Her dad coming in is what prompted her to be like, I need to clear my mind. Let me go. The manimal, now the manimal seems more interested in her dad. Not necessarily more than her, but whatever it is surrounding her father is bringing up bad memories, and I pray that her dad's not a super creep. I hope this doesn't turn into the Flowers of the Attic sort of thing, but my instinct is telling me either dad knows something happened and didn't do anything about it, or he is the culprit. Although she didn't seem super uncomfortable with him, she just seemed more annoyed. Anyway, speaking of annoying, Emma and Cornfred Jed are at somebody's diner wolfing down chili burgers of all things and soup. Falcon Crest does not know how to put a decent meal together. When's the last time you had a hamburger and soup? When's the last time you ate? People eat soup and salad all the time. People eat soup sandwiches and salad all the time. But when's the last time you put Wonder Bread, cheese, and bologna on a piece of fine china with an iceberg lettuce salad? Y'all need to look at Alexis's meal and put that out there. Anyways, I'm not critiquing. I am simply stating the obvious. Dwayne, aka Corn-Fed Jed, aka Captain Planet, can't act to save his gym rat life. But thank God for the wonderful whimsy that is Emma. She is funny and she is a fine actor. So the whole setup is they're in the middle of this diner wolfing down chili burgers, talking about Angela and Peter's wedding that is about to happen. Emma is telling Corn-Fed Jed, aka Dwayne, how in love her mother is with Peter, and it's so romantic that after so many decades they're going to finally be married. Okay, sure. Soap tax, soap tax, soap tax. Dwayne says, well, gee golly, if I loved someone, I surely couldn't wait that long. Come on, Jim Rat. Act like it's a dumbbell and pump that ish out. I need you to say this with a quickness. Emma finally is like, yes, yes. Dwayne says, would you like another chili burger? How are you going to have vehicular sex with a gut full of chili burger? Come on now. I'm not trying to be nasty, but come on now. Emma gets tired of him stuttering Stanley through this, and she goes, will you marry me, Dwayne? Yeah. Dwayne picks her up, hoots and hollers, and offers to buy the entire restaurant chili burgers. Emma, my dear, I know this is 40 years retroactive. My darling, this man is the equivalent of a 2000s gym bro. Your whole life is going to be macros, creatine powder, and in a self-tanning booth in your home. This is not what you want. He's got to go. He's got to go. But I think Emma's going to marry Corn-Fed Jed and continue to lay in his truck bed and have vehicular sex, which, you know what, good for you. Do you? Angela and Peter are having a very different night. Angela cannot be easily wooed, especially not by Wolf Brand chili burgers. She is awoken from a deep and peaceful sleep by guitar and melodic singing. She's like, who the hell is at my house at Can't See in the morning? Luckily, she sleeps in what most women would die to be married in. It is a stunning slip gown with a lace overlay. It is beautiful. She could have easily married him right that moment. Peter says that it is tradition. Okay, so let me set the scene. I didn't really explain what was going on. Angela wakes up. She comes down the steps and she sees a guy playing the guitar and singing. It's really beautiful. It's very soft. It's not an annoying song. It's like an acoustic guitar. So it's not super loud, but it is disruptive. Peter is just staring up at the stairs expectingly, waiting for Angela to come down. Now she's mad because she's woken up out of her sleep, as I said. She's like, what the hell is going on, Peter? Why are you even here? Peter says that it is tradition in whatever country he lives in. Or visits, because he lives there. He lives on a boat. To have a dance with the bride before the wedding. Angela says that it is tradition in her house to shut the hell up. She's trying to get some sleep. Go back to your boat and take Guitar Boy with you. Shout out to the Guitar Boy, though. He is doing the damn thing on this guitar. He is completely unbothered by this outburst. Peter tells Angela to shut the hell up and come dance with him. And I suppose she realizes that she has on this fly gown. She looks stunning, even though she's woken up in the middle of the night. It would behoove her not to be seen by at least a couple of people in this fantastic outfit. Plus, she's from the studio era. She is a trained dancer. So let me let you little young witches and wenches know that I'm a professional, and she does this beautiful spin and begins to dance. It is quite lovely. I very much enjoyed it. I know a couple of episodes ago, I can't remember what show it was on, but I said something to the effect of, if somebody else gets not a record deal, but a book deal, we know that the lather, rinse, and repeat cycle is very, very real. And your girl, Jet, is about to make her some money, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, we have I don't even know what to say. Some rando comes by the Castle House to give Maggie 40,000 dollhouse. Why, you ask? Take a sip. I'm going to take a sip real quick. Hold up. Because, wait for it. Maggie has a surprise manuscript that has magically been turned into an agency, and it will now be turned into a book. The thing about it is, she doesn't even remember writing it. In her soft-boiled brain era, she must have penned this soon-to-be bestseller book. Maggie wrote a whole book and is now being paid 40,000 American doll hairs before it is published, and she has no idea what it is or how it was sent off. Ladies and gentlemen, I understand that there is nothing new under the sun, but really? Okay, so Valine, the Vidalia Onion Queen, writes a book in a fit of passion. Boom. Now she's a best-selling author. On Dallas, which is the spinoff, Valine is the spinoff of Dallas, we got Donna Culver Krebs, now a political impresario, writing a book. She gets about $40,000 to $50,000 as an upfront payment. Okay. And now Maggie. Now, I'm not going to lie, Maggie being a writer, it kind of makes sense, but is there nothing new under the sun? Boy, oh boy. We're going to move on from that because we have bigger and better things that make me so happy. Oh my gosh. Take a sip, guys. Take a sip. Picture this. It is late one night at Melissa's house. She can't sleep. So she gets up and she puts on something soft and pink and heads over to see Father Christopher. Once she sees him, she tells him that she tried to forget about him, but she can't. It is impossible. Their chemistry is too strong. I care about you so much. He's all, but I'm a priest and I don't intend to break that vow. 10 seconds later, while Melissa is trying her very best to squeeze out crocodile tears, he gently wipes them from her face. And then after 10 episodes, it finally happens. He leans in as she leans in. They cock their heads to the side and they lock lips in a passionate 10 to 15 second kiss. Kissy, kissy, boo face. It is so hot. I'm not going to lie. I didn't realize how much I wanted this. I did not realize how. I knew, but oh my God. Finally, guys, after 10 episodes, they succumb to the chemistry that has been undeniable since episode 2. The kiss is so hot. So hot, in fact, that apparently Christopher can't take the heat. He breaks a kiss and tries to catch his breath. He is breathing hard. Now, I thought about this. I said, now, this is a man who's been away at boarding school his entire life. I'm sure he's had a kiss before. He ain't never been kissed by a bad girl like Bad Girl Melly Mel, who is well-versed in seduction, amen? He breaks a kiss, tries to catch his breath, and he swears that there won't be any repeats. We can never, ever let this happen again. She's like, yeah, all right. She knows. That's a bad girl. That's a bad bee right there. She already know. Okay, you breathing hard, you sweating. Ain't no way. Who can resist Bad Girl Melly Mel? Absolutely no one. And she's a jailbird too. She's a convict. She's a bad mother, good mother. She's somebody else's wife. Well, come on. You were all but toast, Christopher. Go ahead and give up the ghost. Oh, speaking of which, did I tell y'all that Peter Stravos had a daughter? I feel like they briefly talked about it in the last episode. It was just a very brief scene. But if I didn't tell y'all that before, y'all, Peter Stravos has a daughter with a bum of a boyfriend that wants all his money. In order to get all his money, what they have to do is snatch up Peter on the day of his wedding. As he makes his way to Angela's home, 2 or 3 caravans block his way to Falcon Crest, snatches behind up, put him in a van, boom, bang, boom. They even send a telegram that screams forgery to Angela saying, "Dear Permrod, it's me, Peter Popoff, not to be confused with Peter Defibrillator of Denver by way of some vaguely European country. I am writing this note to tell you I don't love you enough to marry you. Bye. Peter. Now let's rewind just a little bit. This is all happening at Angela's house where there are tons of flowers. Everybody's getting ready for the wedding. She comes down the stairs. She looks stunning. She has on a white gown with some silver sequins all over it. Lance and Emma are like, oh my God, you look so beautiful. She's like, I know. That's when she gets the very clearly, very forged telegram stating that Peter is gone. Lance and Emma and Charlie watch in mild horror and a bit of amusement as Angela declares, I'd been stood up. She seems more annoyed to me in this scene that she got dressed for this crap more than she seems heartbroken by his absence. End scene. Whew. Okay. I'm just in a really good mood today, but this episode was fantastic for me because, like I said, Chase G. Birdie is so hot. Oh my gosh, I forgot to throw Gary into that. Listen, Gary's hot-ish. Kenny would be if he wasn't so damn corny. I think Richard's actually hotter than... Richard's hotter than Kenny. Not hotter than Gary. If Gary wasn't wearing medium shirts, I probably wouldn't look at him twice. He gets on my nerves, but I said all that to say nobody is hotter than Chase G. Birdie. Period, point blank. Let me know your thoughts. But Christopher and Melly Mel finally makes me so happy. I'm about to go ahead and watch the next episode, and I think I'm just going to raw dog it. I'm not going to write anything out. I'm going to stutter step my way through it and just edit it all out. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this fun-filled edition of Soap Lore. If you have anything you want to add, remember you can reach out in the show notes. You can send a text, you can send a voicemail, or if you prefer sending things the new old-fashioned way, you can send me an email at soaplorepodcast@gmail.com. That's soaplorecast@gmail.com. In the meantime, in between time, chili burgers are not the things you double up on if you're going to be having vehicular sex. Period, point blank. Stay hydrated, stay moisturized, mind your own business, and keep all of your drama on TV.